I thought I'd look at two of my favorite cameras. Now, not favorite for everything, but they do have their uses. I have more cameras than I need, of course. Mostly action cameras. I'm not big on other than the camera I'm using now, which is the Canon 700D. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to use an action camera. I don't mind doing videos. I don't want a lot of pre-work or pre-prep work, etc. But the Vixia Mini X, that's the one I've told people about before. It's as close as I get to a vlogging camera. You might see my face every 15th to 20th video for a few minutes. But this TomTom, for an odd reason, is one of my favorite cameras. Its color is a little bit off. I have to change a little bit in post-production or production to make it a little bit deeper. But what I really do like about it, you know, it has the basic functions that you get in any camera. It's got, you can set the Wi-Fi, you can get a slow motion setting. It has video settings of various kinds, 1080 30 frames per second. So and it has some other slower things. It has a photo mode, as every camera does, basically. So it has a lot of things. You can change the size of the screen: 1080 30 frames per second, 1080 60 frames per second, 720 60 frames per second, or 720 120 frames per second. And you can change the view, normal and wide. So, you know, there's nothing really special about the camera from that point of view. It does have 4K at 15 frames per second, and this camera came out back when it was impressive. It's not really anymore. It only has 4K 15 frames per second and 2.7K at 30 frames per second. That's enough to do a good video on, but not that cutting edge. You can do time-lapse, slow motion video. So it has the basic functions. And at $390 some odd when it came out, it was probably overpriced about $100. So that was back when it first came out, when 4K 15 frames per second was reasonably impressive. Not anymore, of course. But it's taken a violent drop in price. Until now, it costs basically you know, about 150, 160 bucks. I think I spent 150 for this, but it's actually even cheaper now. So I really do like this camera, but the reason I like it has very little to do with, see, I've got it recording now at 1080 60 frames per second. It's just fine if you're doing something fast action. So the reason I really like it is not the fact that it's an outstanding recording machine, but I like this. You get back here, you pull this, you just take this out, pop it in your computer, and voila, you just can download your video immediately without looking everywhere for a USB connector of special kinds. You know, down every camera's got a different USB interface, at least at the camera end. So that makes life so much simpler, and it's good enough quality to make that a good factor and a deciding factor when I want to use this. And it mounts, of course, it's got a conventional hero type mount. It came with its own dead cat. Sorry for you pet lovers, that's basically what it's called. It's basically a filter to prevent the wind from causing a lot of trouble. But the reason I like it is this: pop it in and voila, you can download your video in a hurry. So for any of us that don't do a lot of production work, just wants to get it done in a hurry, you can't really beat that. So I better want to give you a quick look at this TomTom. I don't use it all the time. It's just very simple to grab it and go. But this is just a nice one to have for a quick and dirty video. All right, so I want to give you a quick look at that. And I'm showing this to you while it's still available. I've seen it about $165 out on Amazon, so it's still out there. I'm sure it's not in production anymore. But if you do stumble across it and you want something that's sort of an all-in-one. Not a bad deal. Just want to give you a quick rundown on that, and that's all I've got, and I will be back.